Hello people, it's Nathan here, and just before we start today's episode, which thank you all for tuning in, just wanted to mention that Space Marine 2 officially launched its update while I was in work mid-editing the episode, as well as the Astartes Overhaul has a temporary sort of mod fix at the moment, because it did initially break it, and then they're sort of working on a new version, but then they're still trying to work out all the stuff with mods and Sabre and their official statements and all that. Anyway, all the information in the episode is accurate at the time of recording. Pretty much most of it is still 100% concrete, although, like I said, if it sounds like I'm talking in past tense or something's already happened, like the Volkite pistol getting released or the Zangors not having the audio, I do add in little addendums to basically say this is now in the game. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. See ya. You clicked on that. You looked at the thumbnail and decided it was worth a click. I don't know whether to be flattered or concerned. Anywho, hello people, it's me again. How are you all doing? Good, I hope. Probably wondering what the occasion is for such a small video and one that isn't XCOM related like I keep promising. Well, I've been absolutely engorged in Space Marine 2 as of late, and there is a very good reason for that. It is in the title of this video after all, that being the sole cause of the Astartes Overhaul Mod by A1 Warhammer Workshop located on the Nexus. I'm being 100% genuine when I say that I've lost entire days to this mod. I already pre-completed the campaign, as you full well know, all of the operations, and I've played a metric shit ton of the PvP, and this mod just sucked me back into operations like I was playing the game for the very first time again. It adds in like so much like new stuff that you'll want to hop back in again even faster for like not only new challenges but new operation levels and new enemies too. Well, I say new enemies and operation levels, but you'll see what I mean when I start yapping a little later. If you want the TLDR, save the video, download this mod. It's golden. It gives this game a ton more Imperium flavoured goodness to sink your gnashes into. And you want to know the best part? It's piss easy to install. And it works online too. It's almost a no-brainer at this point. Yep, fuck it. I'll show you how to install this mod at the very end if this video manages to convince you somewhat. But I'm getting somewhat ahead of myself. I'm making this video now just before the update comes out for Space Marine 2 sometime tomorrow, and you know, bricks the fucking damn mods. You know how mods are with updates and shit like that. Plus, I can talk about some things now that the mod gave us early access to before we get them tomorrow. So, ladies, gentlemen, and other warp entities in between, let me introduce to you the Astartes Overhaul Mod for Space Marine 2. So, like I said at the beginning, short video. Call this a public service announcement, if you will. What I'll do is just run over what the mod does to the base game and fangirl a little here and there. Sound fun? Okay then. So let's do this in segments as to keep some form of structure. Otherwise the review will be more spread out than your mother's legs on any day ending in Y. So, arguably the biggest change this mod makes is the customization. Every single thing you knew about the vanilla customization has been thrown the fuck out and replaced with a much better system. For starters, every single class has access to every single weapon. No more bullshit restrictions and arbitrary balancing for PvE. Everything is right in front of you, waiting for you to pick it up and use. Also, to mention, the data for your weapons tracks across vanilla and modded Space Marine 2 before I go any further, so you won't lose progress and you can only gain from using weapons. So let's say, quick example. My go-to class now is the Sniper class, which now wields a Stalker Bolter, standard, Plasma Pistol, and Power Sword. They can't use the Plasma Pistol and Power Sword in vanilla, but with this mod, Voila! Customized to your heart's content. In fact, because of this new system, I actually used the 3 different weapon loadouts for vastly different playstyles within operations, rather than a corridored view on how a class can function. There are 1 or 2 restrictions still in place, like the heavy only being able to use the heavy weapons due to the backpack, I think it is. However, that doesn't mean they can only use heavy weapons. No, my good sir. What that means now is the heavy is the only one with access to his own weapons, but he still can benefit from using the other weapons too, and as of a recent update, heavies can engage in melee combat with more than just unarmored strikes. They can be whatever you want because it uses the default template of the pistol/melee weapon loadout, such as the other marines, which is very clever. Also, speaking of giving classes weapons that they didn't previously have access to, the Bulwark can actually have a main weapon now. So you can pretty much rock a sniper Bulwark, which is kind of cursed, but fuck it anyway. Also to mention, in case there's any doubts amongst you, yes, the weapon traits and skins do track across all classes as per usual, rather than bugging out between matches. You know, the mod does sidestep any leveling issues like that very well. It still feels all very vanilla. It's kind of like Space Marine 2 Plus. It just unlocks a lot of already vanilla stuff that we have rather than adding anything major. So think of it like this, in that all of your marines share the weapons rather than having their own version, which means they'll be leveled up like crazy by the time you're 20 missions down. I can get purple rarity in that time when playing on Ruthless or Lethal, so for lower leveled marines, the upgraded weapons will come in handy if you want to use them on more difficult missions to, I don't know, let's say level up a lower leveled weapon at the same time. After all, you'll have plenty of weapon progress to make with whatever class you want. Like, let's say you want to level up the plasma pistol, it's on like level 2 or so, but let's say you've completely maxed out the regular bolter and the chainsword. You can take on any class you want, you can take those weapons and take the level 5, level 3 bolter, whatever, or the bolt pistol, and you can just level it up alongside your legendaries, gaining a shit ton of XP in a short amount of time. Funnily enough, speaking of weapons, remember how I said that it was a damn shame that the Pyre Blaster was campaign exclusive? Well, guess what, fuckos? Now's your chance to be a proper salamander, because not only is the Pyre Blaster available for everyone, but also, it's even got its own progression tree, and as of me recording this, is super fucking deadly to use, as it should be. Now, weapons aren't the only thing that have been spruced up. Some perks of the classes have actually had a little extra TLC, with the tactical class now being able to wield a storm shield, you know, the Bulwark's storm shield, in replacement of his Auspex. The assault class can now have access to different functioning jetpacks for a particular assault style, depending on which one you're going to go for. The grapple hook ability now has a massive range boost, plus the sniper and heavy having metered perks, so they can access the halo, the iron halo and the stealth respectively, while not having to wait for the whole fucking perk to recharge in full. In short, the weapon and perk system have a good number of changes under their belt. Honestly, too many for me to list off one by one and within all of complete accuracy. I'm also sure that the weapons themselves all got damage buffs, so they actually feel like tools of the Imperium rather than holy super soakers. Definitely a lot to experiment with, whether you want to go ham and make the classes that feel OP as their intended styles, or like I was saying before, if you really want to run truly cursed builds, such as a hit and run heavy sporting a combat knife and a Volkite pistol, you know, be my guest. Now, let's move on to the other side of customization. Your Imperial Drip, your Holy Threads, your Sanctified Fit, your Blessed Armor, your... Okay, I'll stop now. So while this mod doesn't change a lot in terms of armor pieces, because some of it is hard-coded to the game, the variety is still phenomenal, with helmets that make a ton more fucking sense. And more importantly, a Mark 8 universal helmet for us fellas who want to reject modernity and return to strong space racism. Which, fun fact by the way, All classes have access to the Mark 8 helmet, like I said before when it's saying it's universal. So you can run the whole squad pre-Primaris. Even, you know, the chest piece, like one of the chest pieces, comes with an option to remove the Emperor's regalia. So, you know, just have it flat like my balls under a bus tyre. That is to say, all of the armor pieces come unlocked as well when you download the mod. Weapon skins aren't, but to be honest, I'd rather it be that way. You know, it keeps the value of the grind playing missions after all. So you can rock the Marines you always wanted in a shorter time more than ever. It doesn't just stop at armor neither. Some of the skins of the weapons get replacements as well, ranging from a Primaris Assault Chunky Bolter, or Bolt Pistol, all the way to Deathwatch Old Boy skins for some bolter choices, which are stuck at red because of the aesthetic, but honestly it's a really great addition with the tools we have available. There's even the option to switch the melee weapons to their chaos counterparts from the PvP modes, bar the Power Fist because, well, it only has 4 skins and the Stinky Nurgle Punch Glove isn't exactly appealing. But even if you don't want to rock the Power Fist, the mod even adds the Power Fist executions into the overall pool of melee executions, so you can crush, rip and uppercut all your enemies with that baseline Space Marine strength. A very nice touch, and one I appreciate as a melee based individual. Also, speaking of gloves, the Space Marine fists are actually customizable, like you can colour them separate now from the armour, so you can indeed have your Crimson Fists chapter. I think they even added custom logos in the customizer, and one of them is a fist. So yeah, you pretty much have the Crimson Fists for all the people that really wanted that chapter. I don't understand why they didn't add it in vanilla, but fuck it, better late than never. Plus, we are even blessed with Captain Titus's sword from the first game going into the second game, the one you use at the very beginning with the Deathwatch. It is available to us as well, just in case you feel like not enough Nids died at your hand in the prologue mission. Now, me talking about all this armor unlocks and stuff like that, I know what some of you are thinking. Data mined weapons and armor skins? Does that mean I get the DLC content for free?
No, son.
So, understandably, while the devs at Saber are, you know, they're super cool about Space Marine 2 modding, as they've said in a recent statement, the totally fair and common ground is that the DLC stuff is not pre-unlocked, because otherwise that's actually, you know, illegal, and Saber continue to be the gems that they are and work with the community rather than against it. Now, this is despite being able to use the DLC colours. However, I've not checked whether the colours stay when loading into the match. Even if they do, I doubt they're fussed over colours anyway. You know, it's the actual armour and skins that bother them, which, like I said, it's understandable. You know, those take a lot more time to work into the game. And like I said, with Saber being the gems they are, I'd much rather work with them than against them. So, with all that out the way, you know, as like I said, told you it was a short video. All that out the way, let's move on to pretty much the other half of the mod, the operations. Not only has the difficulty been tweaked for each difficulty setting you choose, but even the way operations functions as a whole have been altered, although this is mainly apparent in lethal difficulty, but I'll get to that in a second. For now, all you need to know is that operations is the bread and butter of this mod, the main way to play it. In the same way that Space Marine Augmented vastly overhauled the Horde mode in Space Marine 1, the Astartes Overhaul mainly overhauls the operations side of things. So, let me start with the best thing in my opinion about the operations rework. It's difficult as shit now. Like, there may have been a reason as to why all the weapons got the buffs that they did. It's because you kind of need it going into lethal operations, which is the only way I play the game now. But by the way, they've also added checkpoints in the game, which means that when you die, you don't have to restart the whole fucking mission again. You can just go back to the last checkpoint, which is honestly a really nice touch. I mean, it kind of lessens the experience because it feels like you should have got it all correct first time, but fuck it. Some people are new, some people need to learn how to play, so I admire that. Anyway, so not only are the enemies more numerous, chaos included, the amount of extremist enemies that spawn has almost tripled. Which, for those who don't remember, that's the likes of your Lictors, Raveners, Terminators, Sorcerers, you know, etc. Also, Terminus enemies doubled in spawn rate, so you'll be seeing upwards of 2 or 3 Carnifexes at a time. And boss battles can now appear as enemies. Yeah, you heard that right. Boss enemies. I'm glad that they do, kind of, because it seems the community is in agreement with me that the boss lictor from the campaign is indeed an alpha lictor, and not just a regular one made to be super tough for one encounter. But anyway, boss enemies. Which means that it is entirely possible that during a fight with a Zoanthrope, a Lictor, a horde of Termagants, it is well within the realm of possibility that a fucking Swarm Lord can appear in the middle of the fight. How do I know this? Because it happened to me. If I recall correctly, it was the second outdoor section of the Hive City mission where, you send off the Nova Cannon Warhead and you blow it up. Me and my teammates were taking ground slowly against the Tyranids when all of a sudden, a boss health bar appeared at the top a la Dark Souls style and proceeded to put the fear of God in me as we nearly got a full team wipe in the first 3 minutes of the encounter. I wish I captured the footage, but believe me, it's all too common and can happen to you. Like, the big bad bosses don't always spawn, but when they do, you'll fucking know about it. Trust me. I'm led to believe at this point, despite the fact that I've never encountered it, is that the Tyranids have their own big boss, like big bad boss, which is that the Swarm Lord of the Hive Tyrant. I keep forgetting which one it is. I think it's the Hive Tyrant now that I think about it. I'm led to believe that the big bad boss version for Chaos is indeed Imra. Like the first time you fight Imra. Or it might be the second time. I really hope it's not the second time. That's going to be batshit. But yeah, Imra himself. So just in case you thought you could fight Chaos and get away with it, think again, fuckface. This is 40k, not My Little Pony. There is no friendship, because friendship is magic, and magic is heretical. But if that sounds daunting to you, fighting gigantic space roaches and Reddit users, I have some good news. Amongst all 10 levels as of tomorrow, and yes, 10, because the mod adds in 2 campaign levels to play in as separate operations, might I add, you can encounter reinforcements during these levels. Be that whole Ascadian regiments, a couple of Ultramarines, a singular Deathwatch teammate, Captain totally not Osmagun Akaran, plus even fucking Malum Kaido as a custom entry. And that's if you get kinda lucky. These reinforcements almost have rarities, with the common one being Cadians, who pretty much spawn all the time. Like, it is possible sometimes for reinforcements to not spawn at all, but it's pretty much a safe bet. That's what some think will spawn. But anyway, so the common ones being Cadians, who are really effective in large numbers if you manage to keep them protected. I'd say rare is 2 other Ultramarines or a Deathwatch teammate. Super rare being Captain Akaran or Malum Kaido. And the final tier, I'll call legendary, being a fucking Dreadnought. Yes, you heard me right. It is possible to find a Dreadnought while playing missions. I managed to get a Dreadnought on the final section of the Hierophant mission, and let me just say, it was a spectacle. Just watching the Dreadnought hold the middle ground while us 5 Marines, and yes, I'll get to that later on, us 5 Marines held our ground at the generators. It just adds a lot more to the world when reinforcement feels more natural and not too overbearing. Because remember, you are a squad of 3, or in my case 5, of specialist Marines to go in and do the dirty work, whereas the others couldn't. So, like I said, it feels more natural and not overbearing that you're not just an army going in, sweeping in. Plus, with the recent update, all of your bot teammates now wear helmets, so they blend in with the Ultramarines you find along the way. Again, like I said twice already, feeling more natural. Also, speaking of enemies, as per before, due to the nature of this mod being a lot of data mining, we actually got early access to the Enlightened Zangors, which, while not having any execution audio because it's not officially in the game, they still have all their in-game functions, attacks, and animations. Honestly, it's just impressive what this mod manages to accomplish, and in future, if this is the way Saber are going to manage this game, well, fuck, I can only see positives, which, makes me hopeful. Now, there is something I want to address before I move on to my final thoughts when, you know, you play this mod. Do not play online. That goes for PvE and PvP. Now, PvP, of course, is only online, but PvE, I strictly mean do not go into public lobbies. Playing online in public lobbies can fuck up other people's files and saves, so please do not do it for just basic common decency. I can't stop you from doing it, but and this isn't one of those endorsements going, oh, well, I can't stop you, but, you know, I'm secretly endorsing you by giving you a sly wig. No, I mean, I really don't endorse it because you can fuck up other people's experiences, and I really wouldn't want that. With all that being said, you know, with that out the way, let me tell you about how I actually went online with PvP. So, this isn't as bad as it sounds. I wanted to test something in an honest way, because my train of thought was that, so, like, due to the data mining aspect of the mod, as you can see in my background footage, I have access to the Volkite pistol. I should not have access to the Volkite pistol. But Nathan, didn't the Volkite pistol get released? Well, yes it did, but only for operations. They were still trying to balance it for PvP before they released it there, however. Because of the mod, I was able to go fucking ham with the Volkite pistol and cheese my way to a couple of victories. The pistol isn't totally fuck-ass broken, but it had, well, map-wide range and destroyed bulwarks in seconds. The only limit this gun has is the amount of ammo it can hold. Like, its small clip size is really its downfall. Although, not gonna lie, it was fun to use it in front of other people. And when my other teammates started asking me how the fuck I got access to it, I basically decided to channel my inner 2008 COD squeaker voice and tell them, my dad worked at Saber, and he gave me cheat codes. That was actually really fun. Oh, fucking hell, some things never die. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this now and why I never gave away the mod when people asked about the Volkite pistol is because as of tomorrow, it will be patched in. I don't think a lot of people know about this, so even previously there were very few exploits. I never ran into anyone using the Volkite pistol too, so no possibility of future exploits, and people will find out way too late by the time this video comes out, you know, to cheese it thoroughly. Like, they might get 1 or 2 games if they discover this video and then hop on Space Marine 2 and install the mod immediately, you know, but I think it's as safe as the deadline as you could possibly get. I think I'm fair in doing it this way, whereas I was the one able to use it, but I trust that you trust me, that I wasn't spamming the fucking weapon all the time. I just wanted to kind of test it to see if it actually functioned, and it did. So, again, I'll reiterate, I only bring this up to draw attention to the fact that the Volkite pistol was available to a few of us through data mining, and leads me to the next point of this, the fact that this may become a future issue if Saber want to introduce more weapons but want to leave some of it to be balanced first, which means that they'll add the weapon to the game, but then we're then able to data mine it, which then may lead to future fuckery. But anyway, this issue should be looked into regarding preventative measures, you know, to stop assholes like really cheesing the guns and melee weapons in future. Also, because of this mod, I was able to use the grapple hook with stupidly long range. Like, I think it's a remnant from being able to use it in operations where you can pull yourself across the entire map, but because this is PvP and the grapple hook works with surfaces, the ability basically translated over, and I could pull myself far distances to ambush enemies. So it's not just weapons that may need assessing before mod, you know, launches new sort of versions. But anywho, that's enough of that. If all of this has convinced you to try the mod out, let me show you how to install it. First, you'll want to manually download the mod. You don't even need Nexus Mod Manager for this, it's super fucking simple. So once the mod has finished downloading, by the way, I'll put the link in the description so you can easily just go directly there. So once you've downloaded it, open up your Space Marine 2 folder, your base directory folder, and the zip folder of the mod you've just downloaded. Drag drop and override the files from the mod zip folder to your Space Marine 2 folder, as you can see respectfully on the left and right. So once you've done that, voila, you've done it. To be more safe than sorry, start the game from the protected game.exe and not the other executables unless you know how to auto launch it from Steam as such. But anyways, there you go. Now you can go kill to your heart's content. If you want to play with your buddies, make sure you start a private game and then invite your friends once the session has been set to private, provided they also have the mod installed. Just to be safe than sorry. And tell, why wouldn't they want to download the mod after everything I've talked about? And before I move on, I have to give a shout out to Bald Squid Gaming, and he's the one whose tutorial I followed initially to install the mod. Credit is always where it's due with me, so I've got to respect the homie that helped out. Go check out his channel. He does Space Marine 2 Overhaul content. Dude's got a nice soothing voice. He's kind of like Mark Strong a bit. All this modding sounds fun, right? So many new possibilities, so many new improvements, and customizable ways to play. Well, that's where the Discord also comes in handy, as not only can you find like-minded 40k individuals, you can also find people looking for games, with a Darktide lobby included. You can also find people who are creating other mods like the previously mentioned 5-man squad mod that I run as a necessity. You can also find the big man himself, Warhammer Workshop, who is always announcing updates and sharing his work to the community itself. If you just want to track this mod, play with fellow 40k nerds, or even learn to mod the game yourself, this is 100% the best place to do it. Everyone, as I've seen, is super helpful with modding tutorials and even troubleshooting technical issues you might have with Astartes Overhaul or even other mods. Honestly, just a great community to be a part of overall. And, well, with all that out the way, what are we on? 27 minutes? Fuck it, good time. Suppose that wraps up this very small endorsement. Please show love to the creator and patrons of the mod. The creator worked very hard on it, and honestly, the work shows. It's incredible. It breathes a whole new life into this game, even after I've completed all the previous content. You can even become a patron yourself if you feel obliged to via the coffee link also located in the Discord. And with that out the way, I do hope to see you all next time. I've been Nathan X2000. Love you all. Bye bye.